Hi folks, today I'm going to show you how to change a spindle on a commercial Toro mower. I have a Z Master here, it's a 2009 model. I think this process will likely work for X-Marks, maybe even other brands as well, but the process I think is the same. But the tools you will need is a 15/16 bit. I have mine, as you can see, attached to a breaker bar right there, and I'll explain why in a minute. And a 9/16 wrench. That should be all you need for this job. First thing you do, or I did, is take the housing cover off, which mine comes off fairly easy. Then you need to take your belt off. Now the belt is a tricky thing to take off with one person. You can do it, but it is kind of hard to do. It's a lot easier with two people, but there's a pulley attached right here. As you can see, it's attached to that spring. If you can pull it back and wedge something in there to keep it pulled back like that, it'll give you enough slack to get this belt pulled off. I pull mine off from the rear once I have that done. Once your belt is off, you will need to remove your blade underneath. Your blade, depending on which spindle you're changing, I have 3 here. I'm changing my middle one, so I had to take my blade off of the middle one. In order to do that, I have to get a breaker bar to loosen it. Once it's loosened, I'll attach that to my impact wrench and pull it off. But you don't have to have an impact wrench. It does make life a lot easier though in getting this off. Once the blade is off, you will take your 9/16 wrench. Mine here in the middle has a pulley overlapping the spindle, so I can already tell in order to get this off, I'm gonna have to remove this, but this 9/16 wrench will do that. So you simply loosen this top nut right here and it pulls right off after you get that off. As you can see, this spindle has a pulley attached to the top of it, so you're gonna need to switch it out. This is my old one right there. It's real easy with this same 9/16 wrench. You'll loosen these 3, pull this pulley off, put it on your new one, or as you can see here, I'm pointing at my old one, but you put it on your new one. Then underneath the mower, you'll need to get a wire brush most likely, but underneath the mower, all 6 of these bolts have a nut on them, and you'll need to take it off in order to get it to fit around it. Mine has a lot of, obviously dead grass from years of cutting on it, so I had to get a wire brush and scrape the nuts on it. But once you scrape the nuts off and get it to where you can get this wrench around it, you'll take a 9/16 wrench underneath. You'll go underneath it, and it's kind of awkward to get to. You definitely will need to lift your front end up some. But once you get those 6 nuts off, this whole spindle just lifts out of the housing, and you can drop in your new one, which I've already done. I've dropped in my new one. Then I suggest going and getting 6 new nuts, because these, as you can see, are kind of corroded. They would have worked, but if I'm changing spindle and I'm spending that kind of money, I might as well spend an extra $2 and get new nuts. So I put on the new nuts, tighten it all underneath with this 9/16 wrench. Then, of course, you make sure all these are tight, and this spindle goes back, this pulley goes back on after you put this back on. Then you put your belt back on, and obviously your blade underneath, and you are off to the races. It's a fairly simple process, though I did not see any videos online that broke it down like mine just did. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions or comments, be sure and leave them here or email me, and I will do my best to answer them. And thank you for watching. Take care.